When you start losing your hair, your first instinct is probably to grow it out to cover the thinning areas. But look at this stone sphere. Notice how the harsh shadows make every crack and bare patch stand out. The same visual rule applies to your head. A receding hairline looks significantly worse when there is high contrast between the hair you have left and the bare scalp. By trying to grow your hair longer to hide the recession, you are actively creating deeper shadows and higher contrast. You end up drawing the eyes straight to the exact areas you want to conceal. This topographical map shows the architectural solution. Watch as we aggressively tighten the sides. As side length decreases, visual weight shifts up and temple contrast disappears. Keeping the edges tight forces the eye upward, generating a strong illusion of density at the crown. Achieving a fuller hairline requires abandoning the instinct to hide. You have to trade extra length for structural visual balance. You aren't dealing with a rare condition. By age 50, roughly 85% of men face this exact structural problem. This illustrates the biological mechanism, androgenic alopecia. Notice how these DHT molecules bind to the hair follicle. Once attached, the follicle's geometry shrinks until it stops producing hair. Genetics determine your sensitivity, but external pressures like stress and toxins actively accelerate this shutdown. Because your genetic baseline is already locked in, you need to stop seeking miracle cures. Your best move is to treat your remaining hairline as an architectural optimization problem. Getting the right haircut means matching the correct structural geometry to your specific pattern of recession. Let's look at the power fade on this wireframe model. The high graduated transition from bare skin up into the top hair appears completely natural to the human eye, eliminating harsh lines that draw attention to thinning spots. Next is the modern Caesar. Watch how the straight geometric lines on the forehead are replaced by short, choppy texture pushed forward. This harnesses the psychology of perceived density, because broken, staggered lines visually read as thicker and fuller than straight ones. Then we have the strategic crop. By keeping the sides tight and leaving length to style forward, you actively layer structural weight over the recession points at your temples, hiding them completely. Finally, the side part. It establishes a strong geometric line separating the top volume from the side volume. It's highly flattering for most face shapes, provided your hair still has the density to hold a clean parting line. There is a clear trade-off to these architectural cuts. Maintaining those seamless transitions requires a commitment to high-frequency maintenance and sitting in the barber's chair every 2 to 3 weeks. The optimal haircut is a deliberate calculation. You are trading your time and money at the barbershop for renewed aesthetic control. A strategic haircut only gets you halfway there. Your daily styling routine is the essential structural multiplier that activates the cut's potential. Take the side-swept technique. Watch how this fluid sweeps diagonally across the surface. By pushing your hair at an angle, you physically bridge the gaps over your thinning zones, creating uniform coverage. The vulnerability of the diagonal sweep is obvious. Without proper structural hold, a single gust of wind will dismantle that arrangement and expose the patches you covered. To lock it in, you have to combine a blow dryer with texturizing products. The heat and air physically force the hair shafts to stand up, building vertical volume that eliminates visibility down to the scalp. This requires a practical input. You must master basic blow-drying skills, and you need to dedicate an extra 3 to 5 minutes to your morning routine. That daily time investment transforms a passive haircut into an active structural defense against thinning. Once the volume is set, we turn to the micro adjustments that define the final borders of your hairline. If you have isolated stray hairs falling outside your main recession line, pluck them with tweezers. Removing those stragglers engineers a cleaner, highly deliberate boundary. But you have to exercise moderation. Oher plucking destroys the natural border and artificially pushes your hairline even further back. You can also use hair color for visual continuity. This contrast matrix shows how matched values erase harsh lines. By matching hair dye to your natural skin tone, you drastically reduce the boundary contrast between your scalp and your hair. The cost of coloring is strict, ongoing maintenance. The moment your roots start growing out, that low-contrast illusion is instantly shattered. Ultimately, these precision details act as the final polish, elevating a good haircut into a flawlessly engineered aesthetic. All of this structural work fails if you use the wrong product chemistry. Greasy pomades and wet gels actively sabotage thinning hair. Here is the mechanism of failure. High-shine products clump hair strands together, opening up gaps and turning your scalp into a highly visible reflective surface. As you can see in this structural model, you need a matte wax, like to wax. A high-quality matte finish delivers strong hold and pushes the volume upward without adding any reflective weight. The trade-off with matte products is density management. They require strict portion control. If you overload fine hair with too much wax, the structure will collapse. As a supplementary tactic, use concealing sprays or thickening fibers to build subtle visual density. Just apply them carefully. Overloading your hair with fibers creates an unnatural, powdery texture that draws unwanted attention. Proper product chemistry is about maintaining maximum architectural volume while remaining entirely invisible to the observer. Let's zoom out and look at your entire grooming ecosystem. By integrating sharp beard grooming and scalp tear serums, you shift an observer's visual attention away from the hairline and across your entire face. Executing this requires investing your time and capital into a holistic daily regimen. It is not something you can solve with a single trip to the barber. You cannot alter your genetic timeline, but you have complete control over your visual proportions.